Hello, Nevada County. My family and I did a bunch of summer traveling before the rise of the Delta variant, thankfully, and boy, it's good to be home. Nice to see you again. Cole, thank you so much for the vacation time. The day after I got back, I checked my mail, and at the top of the stack was my ballot for the California gubernatorial recall election. I knew it was coming because I had signed up for ballot tracks, and I had gotten both an email and a text letting me know it was on its merry little way to my mailbox. Have you signed up for ballot tracks yet? It's pretty darn cool. Check it out if you haven't already. where'smyballot.sos.ca.gov. Cole, would you please put that at the bottom of the screen? Thank you. Go there, friends. It's amazing. So anyway, my husband and I voted and dropped our cards in the mail before they got pushed to the bottom of our paper pile, because voting is more important than reviewing credit card offers. That was last week. Then, today, I received both an email from Ballot Tracks and a text from the Nevada County Elections Office letting me know my ballot had been counted. Yes, citizening is fun, and my voice was heard. I want your voice to be heard too, so please vote if you're over 18. If you're under 18 and you're watching this, kid, I know you would vote if you could. Yes, it's all it's cracked up to be, so go register as soon as you can, and I'm excited for you to join the club. Okay, I feel like I need papers to shuffle or something when I say that, as like a visual indication that we're moving on. Let's talk more about the recall election. There are 20 states, plus DC, that allow the recall or removal of the governor, and California is one of them. In 1911, Proposition 8, which became California Senate Constitutional Article 23, introduced for the first time the recall concept. Essentially, the governor, state senators, and assemblymen, and other elected officials may be removed from office early by a public vote, while also voting for the successor. Prop 8 was passed as a referendum in a special election that included Prop 4, which granted the women a right to vote. Fun fact. Interestingly, in 1976, Article 23 was moved to Article 2 in a modified form, so now it's an inherent part of our election law. We make it way easier than just about any other state. This recall election is a big deal. When we were traveling and people found out I was from California, they would often bring up the recall election and ask me what I thought about it. Eyes do tend to be on California. At 40 million people, we're the most populous state in the country. There's a lot we do first. We host fountainheads for high-profile big tech and entertainment, and, well, therefore, our governor is inherently one of the most powerful politicians in the country. Recall attempts are actually very common. There have been 179 of them since the 1911 amendment went into effect. And since 1960, nearly every governor has faced one. Usually, of course, they don't go anywhere. You have to get enough signatures on a petition to equal 12% of the turnout in the last gubernatorial election to prompt a recall vote, which is a tall order in a state of 40 million people. The first recall petitions against Newsom were filed by Republicans immediately after he became governor, which sounds pretty typical, mainly concerning his policies on undocumented immigrants and his stance on gun control. Those first petitions mainly fell flat, but enter the pandemic. And it wasn't Newsom's handling of the pandemic that turned things around for recallers. I don't know that many governors' pandemic measures have been universally popular across their states, honestly, but what really got people signing the petition was Newsom's maskless attendance of a party during the COVID-19 lockdown, which I'm sure you remember. So this time, there's actually going to be a recall election. The only other time this happened, Arnold Schwarzenegger replaced the recalled Gray Davis as governor in 2003. The first question on the ballot asks if Governor Newsom should remain California's governor. The second question will ask who should replace him. If more than half the voters in the first question say Newsom should remain, then the election is over and Newsom stays. But if more than half say he should leave, then whoever gets the most responses to the second question becomes governor. The latest polls show that 48.8% of California voters want to keep Newsom, while 47.6% want to remove him. And regarding that second question of a replacement, wow, there are 46 candidates on the ballot. Of course, only a few have a real shot. At the moment, according to polls, the front runner is Republican talk radio host Larry Elder with 19% support. Coming in a distant second is YouTuber Kevin Paffreth with 9% support. A federal lawsuit was filed against the recall, stating that the recall provision violates the Equal Protection Clause of the U.S. Constitution by allowing sitting governors to be replaced by candidates who have received fewer votes. Plaintiffs want a court order either prohibiting the recall election or adding Newsom's name to the replacement candidate list so that a vote to keep him in office could actually count as a vote for him over the other candidates. If you'd like to learn more about this historic recall election, you're in luck. The League of Women Voters of Western Nevada County is partnering with Nevada County Media to present a Q&A on the recall, featuring Nevada County Registrar of Voters Gregory Diaz and Assistant Registrar Natalie Adona. It will air live at 6 p.m. on August 31st here on Comcast Channel 11 and on Nevada County Media's YouTube page, where it will also remain available for later viewing. The speakers welcome questions from the community, which may be submitted to the League at education@lwvwnc.org or through social media, facebook.com/lwvwnc by August 30th. Early in-person voting opened August 16th at the Rood Center, and the vote centers throughout the community will be open starting September 4th and running through the September 14th election. If you haven't received a ballot, if you need a list of vote centers, if you need an accessible ballot emailed to you, or any other questions about voting, visit the Nevada County Registrar of Voters website at mynevadacounty.org. It has been my privilege to bring you a brief piece on a local political issue. Email me at ncnpolitics@gmail.com to comment on this piece or suggest a topic for a future segment. Remember, when it comes to politics, if you're not at the table, you might be on the menu. Thanks for staying informed, Nevada County.